Bravo 6. Going dog.
Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to a quick little story. It's me, Zeus. Don't expect this to be a regular thing. I don't often have very funny stories happen, but I figured I would share this one with you guys because it's pretty funny, so you're gonna like it. I'm sure. I'm gonna kind of get right into it because it's kind of a longer story, and I don't want to bore you guys. I'm also not a very good storyteller, so we're gonna get straight into this. To set the scene for you guys, I can't remember what day it was, but what's important is it's probably around 10:50ish, 11 o'clock. It's snowing, not like super bad, but it's like that slush kind of stuff, because it's sort of warm out. There's gonna be 4 places referenced. You're gonna have town, that's where I live. Checkpoint is like a in-between place between the meeting spot, which will become relevant later, and the big city. Okay, it takes about an hour and 40-ish minutes in the snow to get from town to the big city. Okay, so you know you have to pass through both the checkpoint and meeting spot. Okay, stage is set. So I go to get some coffee, and right across the street from the coffee shop is an old timer I like to hang out with. His name is Craig, for example. I'm kind of weird with personal details, by the way. I should mention that. I don't like getting too deep into like actual personal stuff, so I'm sorry if I've given all this like weird names and stuff. I just don't want to call anybody out in particular. Anyhow, go over to Craig's house, and I'm talking to him for a little bit, and he's like, hey man, can't really hang out today. I got to drop some broad off down at the big city. And oh, okay, you know, man, hey, no big deal, blah, blah, blah. And getting ready to leave, and as I'm leaving, she calls him, and he's an old guy, so he puts his phone on speaker, and she is just slurring her words. She is just blackout drunk, and you can tell. I was like, you know, a little bit of backstory on Craig. He used to have a problem with alcohol. He hasn't drank since I've been alive, so he does really good. But it's like a 2-hour drive basically to the big city. I was like, do I really want to put him through that? And I was like, actually, Craig, I got nothing going on today, man. Do you care if I'll just run her? You know, it's no big thing. It's all good. And he goes, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, man, I got you. He goes, well, she said she was gonna give me $100. I go, are you trying to? You know, you're sweetening the deal here. Yeah, I'll take her. He's like, okay, well, only thing is that you're gonna have to bring your dog home. She's got a dog of her own, and she's got a bird too. Oh, damn, okay. Yeah, I can go do that. So I went, got some fuel, went and dropped my dog off. I told him I'd meet him back at his house if he wanted to go get her. He's like, absolutely, dude, I got you. So run home, get her all set up, and I get back to his house, and I'm expecting this girl to probably be 30 to 40, you know what I mean? To the point that you're still getting kicked out by your parents and all that stuff. She is 60 years old. 6 decades. And I was like, what the heck? Bro, to put this into perspective for you guys, this is so wild, my mother is 65, bro. So I was like, what the hell is happening right now? I was like, okay, you know what, whatever, let's just get her home. Also, a side note, drunk people piss me off, but I know what this would mean to my buddy Craig. So I'm like, yeah, I can't make him drive her back. So I get her stuff all loaded into my Jeep. She's sitting there flirting with him because he's probably like 50 to 53. He's an older dude. And finally, I just get her into my Jeep and I just drive off. I just like leave. Like she's literally leaning out my window. It's snowing into my vehicle, so I'm getting like pissed off, and I just leave. Right? I'm like, nope, not gonna deal with this. So from town to the checkpoint is probably about 20-ish minutes. So along that 20-minute drive, she's telling me about how her parents are terrible, and the reason she got kicked out was because they were packing, and she was trying to tell them how to pack, and they were just not having it, and they got mad that she was better at packing houses than them, and so they kicked her out. And she's such a nice person and always gets taken advantage of, and her sister is an arsonist and is just terrible and always causes problems and all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, yep, sure, yeah, because I don't want her to get all like drunk and belligerent and then piss in my Jeep. I was like, let's keep it docile at all points in time. So I'm just being dry as I possibly can. A few times sprinkled in between all these stories about how she's so nice and so great and all this stuff. She's like, hey, we should stop and go put our feet in the river. I'm like, no, there's a 0% chance of that happening. Nope. Because it's literally snowing. At this point, it is still like falling, right? And she, well, come on, you shouldn't. Nope, don't like water. I keep coming up with like excuses that aren't just like a shut your mouth, but like a, hey, I don't want to do this, right? And the patience is wearing thinner and thinner, right? Like we're on a decline. So by the time we get to the checkpoint, I'm over it. Like I'm done. I'm half tempted to just kick her out right there. It's a pretty decent intersection, like we're like between these. So the checkpoint goes on like a big like highway type deal, right? Well, I'm like, yeah, somebody will stop and get her, right? But I'm like, God damn, do I really want to just pass her off onto somebody else? You know, what's the meme that God sends his strongest soldiers, the biggest tasks or whatever? So I was like, you know what? Yeah, damn it. I'm getting $100 out of it anyway. You know, what can it hurt? So we start driving down to the meeting spot, and that's probably like 40-ish minutes from the checkpoint, right? We're driving down there, and I ask like, so who am I meeting in the meeting spot? Because my buddy Craig was going to bring her to the big city, but ended up not taking her to the big city, obviously. But he said that her kid was going to come up and meet her or something. So I just wanted to get her talking about something, you know, simple. So, oh, my daughter's going to come up and all this stuff, and we're going to go hang out for the holidays and yada yada. Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's great. That's so good to hear. That's so daughter, really? Wow, that's impressive. You know, like, all just trying to be as like plain and basic as I can. But about 10 minutes deep into this drive, I've been asked 3 more times to go put my feet in the water, and the last time it pisses me off so much that it becomes funny. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever had this happen where you get so angry at something that it just becomes hilarious, right? But the thing that really did it, the thing that kicked it into hilarious, was that she said that we should go, because there was like this beach, right? There was like a curve in the river, it made it look like a beach. So we should go pretend that we're on the beach in Florida, but we're not. We're not in Florida. And I just started laughing so hard. And then while I was sitting there laughing, I don't know if I'm weird like this, but I like to think a lot for some reason. Like, I have stuff on like the back burner, so I'm sitting there cooking over the conversation previously, like the why would your parents kick you? How are you better at packing than somebody? You know what I mean? Like, how does that make sense? So I'm mulling stuff over, and as I was sitting there, my brain starts putting stuff together, and it becomes exponentially funnier because I realize temperature. Damn, it must be nice in Florida right now. Like, I wonder what time it is in Florida. Wait a damn second. Florida, dude, it's like maybe 11:20, and this broad is plastered. She is hammered. It's like not even noon. I was like, oh my God, there's no way. That just dawned on me. And then temperature in Florida, it must be nice, you know. I started thinking arsonist, right? Because like fires, heat. I'm like, what does she mean by an arsonist? Like, what is that? Like she causes problems, you know, like maybe she's like she means that in the metaphorical sense, like she starts fires and stuff. She meant a narcissist, and it all dawned on me in like a microsecond. Like, it all just kind of like made sense all at the same time, and I looked like I was crying, like I was mourning the death of somebody. Like, I was in tears laughing. I could barely keep on the road. I was laughing so hard because it all just hit me all at the same time. Like, it broke me, right? Like, my mental just snapped. And I keep driving, obviously, and she starts laughing too because she's hammered. Oh, which, by the way, I'm sure that wasn't helping because, well, obviously it's snowing, so the windows are up. And like in Fallout, you know what I mean? Where you like will jump into some water and you see like the rad meter start going to the rads, like climbing. I could feel my blood alcohol climbing just by being in proximity to her. She was gone, right? So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, you know what? We're only 20 minutes away. Should be fine. She keeps talking about other garbage in the meantime, about her dog or something. And we get down to the meeting spot, and I'm like, okay, finally, it's over. You know, it's over. Here in a minute, her kid's gonna come get her. I gotta go home, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, hey, you mind taking my dog out? I'm gonna go in and get something from the gas station. I was like, anything to get away from you. And she laughed like it was a joke, but I was like, really, like, I need to get away from you. It's starting to get like pissed off again, right? Like I stopped paying attention, so I wasn't so mad that it was funny. It was just kind of like tapered back to just being pissed off. And I take her dog over to the bathroom, and she, you know, the dog does her thing, and she goes in and gets like some pretzels or something. And so I bring the dog back to the Jeep, and we're talking about how her dog is like a celebrity. People are always taking pictures of it and asking her what breed it is and all this other garbage. And all of a sudden, these 2 girls pull up next to us. They're around my age. To differentiate, there's a blonde and a brunette. Okay, we'll just to separate them. They were both brunettes, but just so that we have 2 different people to talk about here. They get out of their car and her face just lights up, and she opens her door, throws the dog out, and I was like, no, please, God, no, don't you, no. So the dogs are out, and the dog runs over to the girls, and they're, oh my gosh, they're so cute, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, could you go, could you take her potty? Yeah, of course. She's like, I forgot the leash at home or something. And I'm, oh my God, no, don't do this to me. So she climbs back into the Jeep. She's like slapping my arm like she's a wingman. And here she's like, dude, go get their number. And I just get back out of the Jeep. I don't even acknowledge her. Just get back out of the Jeep. I start walking after him. And the brunette turns around and comes back over to me. I'm trying to think of like how to apologize for her behavior. And I just like, hey, I'm sorry. And she stops. She's like, hey, nope, I understand. I can hear it's, you know, my mom's kind of the same way, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's not my mom. But anyway, and she like cocks her head, like looks at me like, what do you mean it's not your mom? And I'm like, yeah, it's just some broad I had to bring from town. I told her what town is called, and I was like, yeah, she needs to get to the city and all this stuff. And her kid said that she'd come up and meet us here. And she, oh, okay. And so this time I realized, yeah, her kid said she was gonna come meet us here. What the hell? So I'm sitting there talking to her for a second. I was like, hey, she wants me to get your number, so I'm gonna reach into my pocket, make it very obvious, like wave me off, tell me you have a boyfriend, whatever, right? She, oh, okay, I appreciate you. So I reach in my pocket. She does like a very obvious like wave it. You'd have thought that I just like, you know what I mean? I was trying to steal something from her, like hands up and everything. She, whoa, all that. Well, about that time, the dog just turned and took off back towards the Jeep. I didn't even talk to the blonde. She was on the phone. And so I just like, I was like, all right, I'm sorry. Thank you guys. And she, dude, don't sweat it. So she was an absolute sweetheart. I appreciate how they were being, but dog gets back to the Jeep. And I let it in. And so she goes, so did you get her number? And I go, no, she has a boyfriend. And so she sits there for a second. She goes, no, she doesn't. And I immediately went from like pissed off to like pissed off funny again. I was like, there's no way. Yeah, because I didn't hear the conversation you had with her, of course. And so I start laughing. I go, okay, you know, well, when's your kid gonna be here? You know, because we'd been there for maybe 5 or 6 minutes, right? Just talking about her dog. She grabs her phone. She goes, oh, I'll let her know that we're here. And I just immediately, dude, my world collapsed. I was like, no, because it's like 40 minutes from town, or excuse me, from the big city to this meeting spot. So I was like, no, I got to deal with you for another hour, dude. It was over. I was so mad. I was like, I'm going to piss you off in some capacity now. I'm going to send you off to your kid pissed off. She's going to hate me, and I don't even know this broad. This sucks. This is terrible. How could this get any worse? And then... Then she asks me, just, you know, text her kid, tell her, hey, we're here, blah, blah. So after she texts her, while I'm sitting here just like mourning over the loss of my day, she just drops the casual question, do I ever get horny in the morning? And I'm uncomfortable now. Like I'm angry. So I'm getting like standoffish. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like angry funny. I'm like angry uncomfortable now. And I'm like, no, hard pass. Nope, not anymore. Yep, you know, ever since I divorced my wife, I don't get, I don't do that anymore. Disclaimer, never been married. So, see, oh, okay, you know, it's fine. Yeah, ever since I hit menopause and I had this like very graphic medical stuff, I'm not gonna waterboard you guys with. But I'm like, okay, yeah, nope. Hey, you're getting a little bit personal here. She goes, oh, am I getting you uncomfortable? And I was like, that's what I mean when I say you're getting a little farther. She goes, oh, I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe we should get some property and move in together. And then it immediately became funny again because it like dawned on me like, oh, okay, she's just hammered. She has no idea what she's saying. So we should get some property and move in together. And nope, not gonna happen. Hard pass. Verbatim, I say hard pass. Yeah, not gonna happen. Sorry. She asked me like 2 or 3 more times. I'm like, dude, no, I said hard pass. No, I will not. And then she says, well, you know what? You're just young and you're not thinking clearly. And then it became funny again. So I like laughed at that. I was like, yeah, no, what it really is just I've cheated on every girlfriend I've ever had. And I was beating the last one because she couldn't get anything right. And really the last straw was when she broke the washing machine. I just couldn't deal with her anymore. So I just left her. Disclaimer, never beat my last girlfriend and I've never cheated on a girlfriend. Just throwing that out there, right? I was just trying to make myself as unappealing as possible. I was like, get me in that capacity out of your skull. When I mentioned the beating thing, though, she got quiet. For the first time in the whole journey, she kind of like sat there for a second. And then she goes, well, you have a dog, don't you? Yeah, like what the hell? Yeah, I have a dog. And she goes, well, maybe you should get my daughter's number then, because she works with animals. And I was like, there's no way you just heard me say I'm a lady beater. I've cheated on all my girlfriends. You're like, yeah, that's boyfriend material for my kid. I was like, there is no way possible. Great person, by the way, right? Like she mentioned, she made sure the whole 20 minutes between town and the checkpoint, I'm such a great person. I get taken advantage of. I was like, there's no way that you really just suggested that. So shits and giggles like, oh yeah, you know, when she gets here, I'll ask for her number. Not thinking anything of that, but that comes important later. So by this point, I checked my phone. It's only been like 10 minutes. I was like, oh my God. dude, I'm gonna die. This is how I die. It's over. I like, the windows are obviously rolled up still, but I have like one cracked so that I'm not actively going to be drunk and trying to drive back home because there's contact, you know, the being in a closed space with her. And I think my brain saved my life because it like neuralized me from the next hour of talking, because the next thing I knew, it had only been like 10 minutes and her daughter calls her. She's like, hey, I'm here. It's like, what the hell? No, you're not, dude. Would you fly? Like, it's only been like 10 minutes. I check. Yeah, sure as hell. It had been like 45 minutes. I was like, oh, I'm in a Jeep. I'm in the parking lot. She goes, oh, I'm actually parked right next to you. And hearing that, I handed her mom back her phone. Dude, I got out so fast. I started unloading stuff like mad, bro. Like, it was my job. Like, I was a UPS driver 45 minutes late, bro. I was moving her stuff. Well, she gets out and she has a friend with her, and her friend opens the trunk and I was like, hey, here you go. Here's her stuff. And she's like, I'm so sorry about her. And dude, it's no big thing. It's no sweat. I got all of her stuff here. I appreciate you meeting me halfway. And she's like, yeah, I don't like driving in the snow or whatever the hell. I wasn't listening. So I was just like unloading stuff, right? I was like, yeah, no, crazy. Cool. Wow. That's wild. So I throw all of her stuff in there and I open my Jeep and I'm like, okay, come on out. And she goes, well, did you get her number? I'm like, no. And why was this the one thing that she remembers, by the way, was what kind of blew my mind at that point. I realized it had been 40 minutes. What do you mean? Maybe it had already been 40 minutes and I'm the drunk one now. I was like, I don't know. I was like, no, I didn't get her number. She goes, well, you got to get her number. So I go over, hey, give me your number. She goes, I'm sorry? Your mom suggested I go out with you or whatever, so I need to get your number. Okay. She understood because her mom's hammered, so she puts her number into my phone, hands it back to me. I'm like, okay, got her number, get out. She goes, well, did you really get her? And she yells over my shoulder. She goes, yes, mom, I gave him my number. Let's go. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. So we get her ass out of my Jeep. I throw her into the other vehicle. I'm like, oh, thank God. It's finally over. I roll both my windows down. It's like 7 degrees in my Jeep now, but I'm driving home because I got to air out all the alcohol smell. Because if I get pulled over, I'm going to be fuming, right? Because in the literal capacity, like it smelled like alcohol in my vehicle. I didn't realize how bad it was until I had gotten out and was like moving stuff between another vehicle and my own, that it smelled, dude. It was bad. But I start driving home and I'm happy as can be. I was like, I got saved. I got neuralized. I don't know why the hell I don't remember this conversation. Life is good. Everything is great. And then it dawns on me like 5 minutes from the checkpoint, I didn't get my $100. And I was like, damn it, dude, you've got to be kidding me right now. So I get to the checkpoint. I get back all the way to town and I go back to Craig's house. He goes, hey, you get her home okay? And no, I didn't get her home, but I brought her to the checkpoint or to the meeting spot, and her daughter came and got her. And oh yeah, that you know what I meant. Now, yeah, I'm good. And he goes, well, you got your $100, right? And I go, no. And so he starts laughing. He goes, God damn, well, what did you guys talk about? So I told him the whole story. And he goes, you know, that would make for a hell of a video, because I tell him about you guys on the YouTube all the time. And he's like, that would make for a hell of a video. And I was like, yeah, probably. I mean, I've done a kind of story time before about some other drunk broad at a bar, but I'll see if I can't find that and I'll link it. And if you guys have made it this far, I mean, I appreciate you guys all for hanging out with me here, but yeah, that's the whole story, and that's actually why I'm making this into a video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I wasn't too long-winded, and I will see you guys in the next one. You guys take it easy and peace out.